Support for Pride of the Americas is collapsing, but leadership is finally talking. I am continuing my exclusive investigation into Pride Fort Lauderdale and next weekend's Pride of the Americas. Hours after my story on Pride's lack of transparency, 2 major sponsors dropped out. Midland Medical withdrew all their financial support and asked for their $100,000 back. Also that night, Tito's Vodka dropped out, costing Pride about $50,000 in cash and product. Also that evening, one board member sent an email calling for a full stop until the board could decide on going forward with the event. They are continuing, and the event is still on. Pride President Mike Martorell finally reached out to me, and we had a 45-minute conversation. Details are at southfloridagaynews.com, but the issue of transparency is really the headline. He told me that minutes of the meetings, which by their own bylaws are required to be made public, were lost in updates to their website. And yesterday he clarified and said he didn't even know that it was required and said they haven't been a priority. We know they exist somewhere because I've seen some of them. And since the board secretary resigned last month, Martorell says it's an ad hoc job to even take minutes of meetings. All these stories are online now and will be on stands tomorrow. Coming online soon, my exclusive interview with Pride's Vice President, Stephen Crawford. His insight into the organization is really stunning, and his candor is admirable. That conversation was about 40 minutes and will make, I think, for very excellent reading. And one of the things that he says to me, and he reiterates it over and over, is that this event must happen. He is here despite anything that is written, any revelations that drop. He is totally here for Pride and Pride of the Americas to get this event off the ground next weekend. So he is fully supportive. Of course, Mike is still saying that it's going to happen, and it looks like it will. Scaled back, smaller park, very short parade.
Is Boy George going to be there? That's all I need to know.
You know, and I don't usually address rumors in these articles. These articles have been very, straight to the fact. But the fact is, there is a rumor going around in the community, so I'll address it here from what they told me. Boy George is being paid $150,000 for his appearance. $75,000 has been paid. The check has cleared. It's all good. Okay. There were rumors that his people were ghosting Pride's people. People inside, people outside Pride with any knowledge say it's still happening. It is standard operating procedure when you book a major talent that you pay half up front and then half a few days before the event. So like today or tomorrow, the check would be cashed and cleared. So he is still on, and it is still happening according to everyone I've talked to on both sides of this story.
Look, I'm not going to make it 2 things. I'm not going to make an excuse. I was a secretary for a board once, okay? And I came in after somebody who had been ghost for a couple of months, right? To be able to catch up on the notes that she had left, right? And transcribe notes that had been recorded, but nobody had listened to them, plus keep up with what was presently happening with those board meetings, was a disaster, and it was almost impossible. Like, I had to literally stay home for a week typing because I had to get it done, right? So again, no excuses, but I sort of believe, I believe Mike when it comes to that. But at the end of the day, we need to support this Pride like any other Pride, all right? A Pride is a protest, and we are allowed to go out there and show who we are authentically together in numbers. And that is what we need to do for Pride of the Americas. No matter what the hell's happened before then to now, we should all be there for those 3 days next week and support.
One thing on the minutes and thing, it's 2023. We can literally video record all meetings.
Yes,
and I know that they're having a lot of phone conversations. They're not gathering in a room to sit and talk things out and then going about their separate ways. In the age of Zoom and Google Meet, you can record all these. Yes, you're going to see someone accidentally throw some shade and some side eye. Yes, you're going to see the good, the bad, and the ugly, but you're going to see it. And that would make keeping the minutes a much easier task when you come into a time when your board secretary has resigned.
Yeah, and you have to remember, Fay's talking about a time being secretary previous.
No.
She's doing it.
No, don't make an old joke there. No, because no. Jerk. Okay? But those Zoom meetings, you still have to listen to them and listen and sit through them. I mean, it takes time.
Oh,
It
yes.
really does.
All right,
Al?
you crushed the joke. All right, I'll stop. I was going to do a chisel and a stone. That was the joke. But no, I won't do that because it wouldn't be appropriate. They told me it wouldn't be appropriate. You know, one thing that I am curious about, John, as you've been working on this story for a while now, since before Christmas, and what are you watching in terms of community support? I understand the issue with Midland, and I understand the issue in the vodka sponsorship. But beyond that, are you seeing community start to rally? Exactly as Fay said, her challenge is really, I think, on point and crystal clear. Are you seeing that in terms of what you feel? Because you're hearing from so many different people connected with the story. What are you hearing from people?
We're going to have this event. Come hell or high water, this event is going to happen. And last week, I was shook. And, I really thought when so many major sponsors started pulling out that it wouldn't happen. But like I said, Stephen Crawford said that they are committed to making this happen. Everybody who is a major player, whether they believe there needs to be more transparency, whether we need to see the budget, which Mike has promised he will get me a line item budget. They're for it. Whether it's it's one of those things like we're all going to go down on this ship together if we're going to go down. But one thing that Stephen Crawford said to me was that oh my God, I've lost
That he loves your bald head?
That he loves my bald, apparently very bony head. No, I asked him what the measure of success would be for this, and at this point, and he didn't come right out and say it, but I asked him, would just the event happening be a success? Has the bar fallen so low? And he says, yes, that is part of a success, and that it will happen.
I think it's just a matter of, we all want more pride and protest, and especially right now in Florida, we need that protest. We need every opportunity to protest and say that we're here, we're queer, get used to it. Oh my God, that's such an old slogan. But on the other hand, we stand up for family even if the family is a mess. That's the base. That's the bottom line, right?
Yeah.
So hopefully I'm hoping that this will turn out fine. Without Tito's vodka, who's going to pour the drinks? Oh my Lord.
There'll be another vodka.
There'll be another vodka. And I can't wait to read the interview with you and Stephen Crawford because I respect him. I love what he did with Flockfest. I thought initially it would be a fantastic idea for them to merge with Pride Fort Lauderdale. And I just love what he brings to the table. He's respectful. He's transparent when you talk to him.
Yes.
So I'm really looking forward to seeing that interview.
Yeah, and they did this last year. They did start to explore a merger. Stephen, of course, is still the head of Flockfest. He came in, tried to see if the organizations would really mesh. Their cultures did not, for various reasons. Pride is a once-a-year event. Flockfest has their major beach party, but they do things around the year. And so they are going to sort of go their separate ways, but not until after next weekend in the Pride of the Americas.
One last thought. We haven't kind of re-outlined what's going to happen next week. Pride in the Drive is next Friday.
Thunderpuss.
Yeah, and Thunderpuss is going to be on the stage at the Hunters WNBA stage, and that'll be quite exciting. We're helping to support Hotspots, and Happening Out is helping to support the main stage with Georgie's Alibi, which is principally the Pride of the Drive branding. And then there's activities all over, up and down the drive that'll be going on next Friday night. So it's a great representation for Wilton Manors in our support for Pride of Americas and for Pride Fort Lauderdale in Wilton Manors. It's separate and distinct because we do Stonewall Pride in June, but great support for Pride of the Americas and the Pride Fort Lauderdale organization Friday night in Wilton Manors. Then the parade and the festival, moving along at Las Olas Park. And so the parade will be on A1A. It will end right at the Las Olas Bayfront Park. The big garage, the big new garage on the Las Olas Bridge, that's exactly where the festival footprint is going to be. And that location, and then into the evening for the main stage of Boy George. So Saturday is going to be just absolutely fabulous. And then the pool party, remind me.
It's behind Rock Bar. Yeah.
With Prince Trilla. Hey, Prince.
And
the day club.
It's going to be a fun weekend. And above all else, we're coming to the point where, okay, we've John's going to stay on this story for sure.
Absolutely.
We know he has everyone's confidence that he's going to stay on the accuracy of this story. And for all of the rest of us, it's let's support and go and have fun.
I just
our
need the calendar of how many prides we have in the area because
5 or 6.
because when I'm from DC, we have 2 prides. You have Black Pride, you have the Capitol Pride. And it seems like every other weekend there's a pride event going on down here.
Well, there's okay.
We have
there's
Stonewall
Miami.
Pride.
So
You should be. You're not going to count them right now, Bobby.
No.
It's only an hour. Show.
It's like
There's many.
There's so many.
I will share my calendar with you,
Thank
Chris.
you.
I got
Thank
you.
you.
And trust, Brandy's not at any of them.
LGBTQ plus news is vital for our community and for the broader world as a whole. We have enough enemies at Fox News. Tucker, Sean, and Laura are loud. We need passionate allies. Happening Out Television Network, Queer News Tonight, and It's Happening Out are literally out of the closet and into the headlines. Our community needs your support. Like this broadcast and subscribe now to ensure the growth of the entire LGBTQ plus community.